she tossed it at me, and I dodged it, but yeah, I messed up and I lost a bunch of songs. But those were the days, huh? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Vibing Out with Texony. I'm your host, Texony, aka Mr. WorldVibe. And what we have here is a community to give local voices a public platform of shared ideas, knowledge, and perspectives. So this is season 2, Go Home. And I just want to jump right into things today. This is a Topic Tuesday, and I want to shout out one of the patrons, Greg. Shout out Greg for giving this idea, this topic of then versus now. So we're going to look at how things were before, how things are now, maybe get into like a little bit in the future. But yes, thank you for the request, for the suggestion. And yeah, if you guys want to give any suggestions for any Topic Tuesdays, you got to be a patron, okay? I've been doing Topic Tuesdays since season 1, but come season 2, I take patron requests for topics, and then I go to the actual full community on Instagram, and we do a little vote and see what you guys want to actually hear about. So then versus now 1, here we are today. So if you'd like to be more involved in the community, I suggest you head to the Patreon. We have exclusive content, early access, all the previews to my upcoming book, How to Vibe Out, is on there, including the intro. So I have a lot of previews. I have a lot of things that you'd love to see. You'd love to be a part of that community. And it's really as cheap as $2 an entire month. So it's really cheap, it's affordable, and it's exciting to be on there. And I want to thank everybody who's on the Patreon so far. And also just you for watching this and for being here, for listening to this episode. All the support really matters, and I appreciate you. So if you appreciate me, if you want to give back to me, it's as simple as leaving a like on this video, following the podcast if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and just staying involved, okay? We're going to have this topic. I'm going to talk about then versus now in my life, some of the areas I notice comparisons, and it's an opportunity for us to have a conversation. So I'll be reaching out in the next few days as this episode is released. I'll be reaching out to as many of you guys as I can. Let's have some discussions. Let's see which areas of our lives we notice the biggest changes. And so I'll kick off this topic. I'll kick off the conversation by sharing and beginning some areas to delve into. So I have a few notes. I want to go to a few areas. And yeah, let's just jump into it. I think the first thing to think about is the term paradigms. Paradigms shift over time. One of the oldest paradigms that humans believed was that the sun went around the earth. We thought the earth was the center of the universe. And when paradigm shifts happen, most people have to just reaccustom to a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things, a new concept, a new idea. And we take that idea of paradigm shifts into today. COVID-19 is the biggest paradigm shift we've had, I think, ever since, at least since I've been alive. And that's one we'll start on. We'll start with the elephant in the room, the biggest paradigm shift that we can even talk about. And I don't need to go too much into detail on this. We know how COVID-19's changed the way we look at things. Social distancing is the biggest one. I don't think we used to ever really care who was near us. We were in a crowded bar, club, room. If someone was just near us, we would just be like, ugh, it doesn't really matter though. We would go to work. If we were sick or had the flu or fever, we didn't really care who we infected. It wasn't a big deal. We didn't care about immune systems and all that. It wasn't that big of a deal. But obviously now it's a big deal. We have to keep away from people to not spread viruses, not spread these things. So I think that's a big one. And obviously mask wearing is another huge one. You can tell which people are willing to shift paradigms where we have to wear masks around other people. We know that now. We just do it out of we've already shifted paradigms. We're already in this new way of thinking. And there are people who are just don't want to step into this new way of thinking. Those are the people that refuse to wear masks, refuse to get with the program. They're not in the new paradigm yet. They haven't shifted over. So, that's all we have to say about COVID-19. You already know everything you need to know about it. And I'm not an expert. I can't talk about any specifics. I don't have any further knowledge on that. You have to do your own research. But let me talk about some of the things in my life. I have some areas I broke it down to. And let's start with the first one. The biggest one is technology. Technology has changed the way we maneuver, operate in all facets of life. Me being a millennial, I've seen technology expand from like when the internet was kind of just getting started to now it's everything. It's people make money from the internet. People wake up and go to the internet. People, it's like their whole lives, their whole identity is on the internet sometimes. So let's start there. I can start with video games. Okay, I used to play video games a lot. I had a PS1, PS2. I had a computer, like a desktop computer. I used MSN and YouTube on there a lot. RuneScape was a big one. I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And that was the then. I played a lot of video games. Nowadays, I don't play any games at all. I don't. I just don't have time. I don't make the time to play video games. If I wanted to, I would, but personally, nah. That's not my thing. I don't identify as a gamer really anymore. Another huge thing is how we listen to music. So I remember having CDs. I had a Walkman. Who knows what a Walkman is? Okay, you put the CD in, connect your headphones, and you're vibing. You just play music, walking around. It was nice. I remember Walkman. I wish I still had mine, but yeah, Walkmans were the thing. Then when the computer came and desktop and internet kind of started, we had downloading music on the internet. LimeWire. Who remembers LimeWire? Holy, I'm throwing y'all back right now. I know it. So yeah, we started downloading music, and so I remember one story. This is so funny. I had all these downloaded songs. Me and my older sister, we had like at least 1,000 songs on our computer, all downloaded. And if you guys remember, you had to download each song individually. Make sure you maneuver around the viruses and all the adware and malware. So collecting 1,000 songs was tough. I accidentally deleted all our music. My older sister was so mad at me. She was so mad at me. She threw Pampers, the baby wipes. It's like in a green container. She tossed it at me, and I dodged it. But yeah, I messed up, and I lost a bunch of songs. But those were the days, huh? Downloading music individually. Then, of course, came streams. And yeah, streams really took over. Apple Music, Spotify, and all the other streams, SoundCloud, everything like that. Everything in between. That's where we are now with music. And as easy as it is to get music, the actual value of a unit of music is so much less than it used to be. So, I mean, we really have to take care and support artists, especially local ones who are trying to grow and trying to spread their message, because it's not easy. You can't just sell CDs, sell records anymore. All the money you make is split up so many different ways that I feel like it's a tough time. You have to really care more about brand nowadays than anything else. So yeah, music has evolved a lot, and music's an integral part of me. So that's all I have to say about music. TV shows, okay, who remembers just waking up on a Saturday morning, your favorite cartoon comes on, YTV, Teletoons, Family Channel, Disney Channel, all that good stuff. Cartoon Network. I might have missed a few, but you get your cartoons, you get your cereal, and you just sit in front of the TV and just watch. Right? That was the time. And I have a question I want to ask you guys. So I want to hear your comments below, or DM me, message me. I'm wondering, have TV shows got worse, or are we just getting older? That's my question. I really want to know. Are TV shows actually getting worse? Like, are they spending less time writing good material and not really caring about the messages and kind of rushing and not creating valuable TV shows? Or are we, as millennials or Gen Z or whatever you are watching this, are we just outgrowing? Are we just too far from cartoons to get it and to like it anymore? I want to know what you think. Personally, I think the old cartoons, like, for example, like, man, TV shows and cartoons like SpongeBob, that was like my favorite. That was my go-to cartoon. It got worse as they went along with the seasons, and as I grew, it got worse. So I don't know if that's me getting older and being like, I don't like this show, or if the writing just got worse. So think about one of your favorite shows. and then think about a TV show or a cartoon for kids nowadays, and just look at it and be like, is it actually good, or am I just not interested? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. We can talk about pictures as well. Taking pictures is something that I've noticed changed from then to now. Back then, we'd always have baby photo collections. Come on. You know I got those. Like, I'm not going to show you a bunch right now, but I got that. Now, if you're someone who, let's say you're born 2005 or later or something like that, after, digital cameras kind of lost place to just iPhones and smartphones, you're not going to have a lot of printed photos. So you're not going to have a lot of these baby photo collections. You're not going to have them physically printed and physically there. You're going to have them all on the cloud. So that's a huge change. The iPhone took over, y'all. It took over. We don't need flashlights no more. We don't need calculators no more. We just have our phones. And that's another then versus now I want to talk about with iPhones is the GPS. GPS technology really took over, whether it's on your phone, whether it's in your car, like your Apple CarPlay or Android Smart Play or whatever. But back then we used maps. I remember using maps. I would love sitting in the back of the car using those yellow books. They're called map art. And I would be looking where we were on the road. I'd be looking at the signs, I'd be looking at the map, and I'd be figuring out where we were. And nowadays, the GPS does that for us. So that's another one that for me, I just look at my childhood and now, and I can definitely see a clear comparison. Let's move on to social. Social, I think some of the biggest things when I think about then versus now, I was a kid. I was a millennial. I mean, I still am, but when I was younger as a millennial, I remember playing outside. Oh, outside with your friends. Come on. Who remembers green boxes? Chilling by the green box. Come on. If you're a 90s baby, you know. If you're a 2000s, do they still have green boxes? Are they still green or what? I don't know. So let me know. But green boxes was a big thing. Manhunt, grounders, just playing at parks. Who remembers play places at McDonald's and stuff? Those things were disgusting. But we still played at them. We didn't care. They were gross, but we still loved them. And again, this is all pre-COVID stuff. We didn't care about germs. We were just social. We would go out. We would play anywhere we could. It didn't seem as dangerous as it is now with all the threats. It just seemed like a more innocent time. I don't know. What can I say? And I would play outside with my friends a lot and just play sports, bike around, run around. We can look at nowadays. I mean, clearly I don't run around doing nothing. But in 2020, I spent a lot of time outdoors. I was going on walks. I was biking again. I fell in love. What's it called? I fell in love again with biking, I should say. It was amazing. I really satisfied my inner child. Like, I was biking around places I would bike around as a teenager, and I felt a part of me happy that I haven't felt like for a long time. So that is to say, doing things that you loved as a kid, doing them again as you're older, you'll always love doing those things. And so I cannot wait for good weather 2021. I'm going to be walking, running, biking, hiking, beach, basketball, soccer, working out outside. I'm going to be outside every day. And I know we all say that, and then half of us just look outside in the summer, but trust me, I'm going to be outside for sure. We can also look at dating and stuff, right? Before there was Tinder, there was not really online dating. There was plentyoffish.com and all those kind of weird low-key sites, but the most of us were just going out and just meeting people in person. I'm proud to say I never used Tinder for more than 2 months in my whole life. So I mean, a lot of people now, obviously because of lockdown and stuff, are using online dating more than ever. But personally, I can't get down with it. That's personal reasons. I don't do that stuff. You might disagree with me. That's cool. But yeah, that's a big then versus now. I think just in the social sphere is dating in person versus online. And I want to finish with personal then versus now. It's just things in my life that I look at that are on a personal level that maybe you guys can relate to, maybe you can't, but maybe you can reflect on some of your own personal comparisons, the biggest ones in your life. For me, it's the idea of overindulgence then versus now seeking balance. And, when I was growing up, for example, cereal. I talked about cereal before with the cartoons and cereal. I would love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I would have 2-3 bowls in the morning every day. Just I didn't even think about the food I was eating. I was playing soccer, like competitive soccer, and I was eating anything I wanted. I didn't care what I ate. I just needed fuel. Like, I didn't care if it had sugar, salt, fat. I didn't care. It was food. I can eat it. My metabolism so fast, it just goes and comes out, and I just keep going. Nowadays, I plan my meals with a timer on my phone. I make sure I know about the timing of my food, and I eat. I fast. I intermittent fast now. Like, I care so much about not only what I eat, but how I eat, when I eat. I just care so much about making sure it's a proper balance and not just eating. Same with like video games. I mentioned that earlier. I used to play video games a lot. I'm telling y'all, like 10 hours a day. Imagine me, 12 years old. I wake up, 6 a.m., get my bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, head to the computer, and I'm playing RuneScape. Till I go to school, come home, right back on it till I go to sleep. Wake up, same thing. Like overindulgence, I'm telling you. And I just came to high school and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to do this anymore. It was just a realization I just had to have over time. And so that's a huge indulgence I had. On another note, other things I've been trying to kind of figure out as I go, anxiety. I think mental health is like one thing we can talk about in terms of then versus now. It wasn't really talked about back then. Now, it's not like people have more like mental health problems. Like maybe with the internet, maybe with the life we live now with COVID, maybe it's, people have more anxiety and depression. I get that. But it's also talked about more now. So I feel like it's just, obviously it's going to be more prevalent because people are more willing to talk about it. Like personally for me, I don't think I have less anxiety than I had before. I just think I can handle it better. I thought you had to like cure anxiety, but no, you live with it. But if you know how to use it properly and harness it, you can actually use it like to an advantage. It's not something you just get rid of. Like depression is not something you just get rid of. It's something you have, or you have to like make sure you cope with it properly so that it doesn't come back and actually negatively affect you. And so that's one thing. I think self-awareness that's a huge, then didn't have the self-awareness. I was overindulging in things. Now I know which parts of my life to balance out. I'm all about mind, body, soul. Those 3 things are the most important systems of the human. And that's something I talk about in my book, which you'll hear. It's coming soon. Those are the 3 sections where I have all the different chapters. So that's my last comparison, is the personal things. I talked about technology, social, and obviously a little bit with COVID. So yeah, let me know in the comments, message me, let me know on Instagram. What are some of your most prevalent then versus nows? I'm excited to hear about this. Let's keep a little conversation going. And yeah, that's what I was, inspired to talk about in this topic of then versus now. So thanks again for the request for the topic. And until next episode, I'm gonna head out, okay? I'm gonna go eat some food. So I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon, okay? This has been Vibing Out with Texony. I'm your host, Texony, aka Mr. WorldVibe, and I'm signing out. Peace.